Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm making everybody late. I got 2 extra cameras down here. I was getting ready. So try to make sure everything's set in place and I don't knock anything over.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. It is it's lovingly referred to Woo Woo Wednesday that we do.
Anymore it is. That's right. People know what it is.
This is where you get to ask questions about paranormal stuff and ghost stuff and earthbound spirit stuff. And Marianne, you're going to answer the questions because you know
I
everything.
will certainly try. Every now and then I get one that I go, I don't know.
Right, right.
Right.
This is the first time we're airing this on TikTok. So for the new friends on TikTok, if you have questions about ghosts, paranormal activity, portals, negative energy, feel free to go ahead and ask. I won't be able to show your question on screen, but we'll read it out loud and get you some answers here. And it seems like a few people have already listened to the podcast this morning. You know, Marianne, and I'm still amazed that you had time to have yet another job at that time between showing dogs and grooming and, booting ghosts out of the house. You were taking pictures of babies in hospitals.
I had a diaper service too.
Oh, geez. What else?
I had a diaper service for a number of years. It was called Bottoms Up Diaper Service.
Oh, that's adorable.
And on the side of the van, I had an artist paint a little boy and a little girl, with their hands on the ground with their butts in the air, bottoms up.
Hello.
Well, when we moved to Wayne County, there was the lady next door was pregnant. This was her third child.
Hey, Chris.
And she was only about 3 months along when we moved in, and so the closer she got to Ted, to having the baby, I said to Ted, I said, you know what, I'm going to get her some diaper service. She's got the 2 other kids, and the other one was still in diapers. So I make the attempt, and I called. There was absolutely no diaper service in Wayne County at all.
Oh,
None. So I took it upon myself to do it.
well, if you can't find it, then you make it.
Fix it. That's right. Do it yourself.
Hello, Lewis. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
No, late is the word.
Let's see here. I see Chris and Brooke. They're jumping on all the platforms for me. Hello, hello. So if you're new, we do have a podcast, When Ghosts Speak, and it releases every Wednesday morning at like 4 a.m. in the dark 30 time. Well, hello, everybody, all of our friends over there on Twitch. Feel free to ask questions, everybody. I'm scrolling through here looking for questions. We have so many good mornings. I'm trying to make sure we don't miss anybody. Thank you for listening, Joe. We've got a few more, and we're going to record one today after the live aspect. So if you want to be a part of the podcast recording, listen in, see all of our shenanigans on the side that we laugh and joke about that I end up cutting out to keep it time sensitive, jump on Twitch. That's where we'll be recording that. Lewis has our first question. What are the opinions about ley lines?
I really don't know enough about that. I've suspected over the years, and I hate to say this, Melissa, but I'm almost thinking your old house, I'm almost thinking that has to have something to do with ley lines. But I don't have enough knowledge on it to figure out how to know if that's it or not. And I don't know if you have anybody at the shop that knows anything about that.
At one point, Hank and Dave was another like registered like medium, whatever person out of Fellowships in Lilydale. I don't know if it was quite ley lines, but it was the energy lines that run through like natural bits of land and property. And Dave would go out if you were having issues, just it seemed like bad luck on the property, maybe spirits, but he would take certain lengths of copper, and I think it depended on the size of your property, and put them at certain points, trying to realign the energy of the property, because the belief was that constructing the house and tearing out trees would disrupt. And so putting like a natural element back in, and copper being a conductor, would kind of help bring that back into alignment. But Dave has since kind of gone
Gone.
on. Yeah. So, but that's about as close to ley lines that I've
Yeah.
really
And
got.
I know that it does affect what's ever in close proximity to those lines. So, and that has to also either give more energy or disrupt energy, one or the other. Yeah, jack of all trades is right. I get bored easy. You guys are just lucky that I haven't gotten bored of this yet.
Hey, I keep you on your toes so that doesn't happen.
Right.
And we do talk about, there was a question on one of the phones here, if we talk about reincarnation, and we do at times. So if there's questions, we'll talk
Right.
about it. It's kind of, our conversation hardly ever is really pre-planned, other than today. I've got some of the house will pictures loaded up that our friend Chris sent in. And I did find that one of mine where, well, we'll see if other people can find it first. How do mediums talk to spirits if reincarnation is real? Wouldn't they have moved on?
No, there's always a part of you that stays behind. Like I know two of my relatives are definitely reincarnated, but I still dream of them. So there's always some of their energy that is still that you do dream about. So no, you will always have that connection once they've crossed over, even if they do come back. So
Why, yes, Mark.
thank you, Margie. You're right.
Okay. Have you ever been called to schools that have had the shootings with little children, like at Sandy Hook, go into the light or go looking for their families?
I think the younger ones, like Sandy Hook, probably went with their parents. It's the teenagers that go, from the high schools that get killed, that I think have a harder time because, after 13, 14, well, even younger nowadays, but they're so social after a certain age. And, anybody that has teenagers knows that more than once a day that their friends know more than mom and dad.
Mm.
So you just never know, but the little ones I'm pretty sure went crossed over or went with their family. So I think, yeah, I've never been to one of the places for school shootings, so I really don't know for sure. I just got a call from a woman that mm, 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 has a child that goes to a local high school, and I recognized the ghost that was in her house as one of the kids that had died in a car accident from that high school. And that high school has got over 7 between juniors and seniors that have died in car crashes that are in that are definitely in that high school, and they affect all those kids there. And a couple of summers ago, probably 4 years ago, two of the mothers got hold of me and said that they had access with keys to get into the school building. So, in other words, we could sneak in and clear the school and protect it on a weekend. It's like, yeah, I can't do that. I said, you really got to get permission. You guys are great, but I'm not going to jail for you. And it's just not
Oh,
happening. I wouldn't be happy in jail. And no doubt about it. And I said, talk to your superintendent, principal. Every school district is different, who's ever in charge. And that guy said, absolutely not.
oh. Well, hello, Patrick, and friend Jennifer joining. And then here's Jennifer, brand new friend. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Let's see. Did you hear about the dentist in Denver who allegedly killed his wife using arsenic?
No, when did this happen? And how easy would that be for a dentist? Because you could put it in a filling and it could leak out and it would be so, you could kill somebody so slowly that way. Wow.
Not that you've thought about that or
No,
anything.
no, it just presented itself. I never thought of that before. Oh, and why would I? So I don't know.
Right. Hello, Nancy. Renee, I joined Twitch to hear you record. Will it will if you tell it to notify you and send you notifications. So make sure you have the notifications turned on. Let's see. The St. Joseph medals. What exactly do they help with? What do they do?
Okay, the St. Joseph medals are good for two things. St. Joseph is just an amazing saint, and it was just his feast day the other day. So, but if you carry a St. Joseph medal on you and you read the back of the card, the St. Joseph Holy Card, it will tell you you will never be killed in fire or drowning or war, anything like that. That's why it's such a good medal for anybody that's fighting anywhere to wear one of those. And the other thing that, of course, St. Joseph for is good is selling your property. Is also good for that. So he's jack of all trades, master of none. He's pretty good at what he does.
So now the question, what are ley lines?
Longitude and latitude. You know what that is. I think ley lines are similar to something like that, only energy wise, not number wise. And depending on how they lay and if they cross or they're disrupted, if a house or building is in that vicinity, it could be a problem. And I don't know how to fix it. And I really don't know how to find these things, but I know they definitely exist.
Yeah, Sandy's like, unless it's Melissa's property.
Yeah, right. We can find them on her property because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else it could be at your house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I need to sit down and write down like everything that was going on there in like the order.
That's right. You really should.
Story. Asking, was it like grid work? I don't really.
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, I think you could probably use that as an example as a grid. But again, if you look just at a map that just shows longitude and latitude, it's straight up and down and around, so it looks like a grid also. So I think I think it could be used for that.
Renee says some people recommend wearing Saint Benedict medals for protection against negative spirits. Do you think that helps?
I'm just a firm believer of the quince seed because it's never failed. So I think that the medals are great, and you can just buy a plain St. Joseph medal. You can buy a St. Joseph or any medal with a relic on it, which means that it's supposed to work a little harder for you. But there is a saint for everything. There's not one job or vocation or reason from a sickness, a specific sickness like from cancer to, kidney problems. There's a saint for everything. So you just have to look.
Brooke is like my best hype master on the side for me. Swifty asks, please explain, how do you know that your relatives are reincarnated?
Because I recognize traits in them when they started toddling and then talking and then walking and everything. And one is definitely between Ted and I, all of our parents, grandparents, obviously at our age, everybody's dead. And so, but I've recognized two of our relatives, actually, and two of our existing relatives, they came back to be in the same family, which is exactly what people do when they get reincarnated. They come back with the same group of people. So, and I have just figured out that that's who they are.
Let's see. Vicky wants to know if I tried to catch a leprechaun. I did not, quite honestly. I was so busy that like it didn't even dawn on me that it was, St. Patrick's Day that day. I honestly just
Did anybody try? Did you have fun with your kids and try? Sip a little of the whiskey and have a good time?
like, let us know if you tried at home. Did it work?
Yeah. Did you catch them? Did you catch your pot of gold?
Poodle Pan said he put the arsenic in her protein drink.
Oh.
And it was over this past weekend.
Well, I didn't see it over this weekend, but and tell me, because Poodle Pants, you lived in Denver. Don't tell me this was the dentist you went to.
Oh no.
Yeah, that would just be it.
Didn't even think of that one.
Oh, I did.
Lewis says, have you ever been to a billionaire's mansion and cleared out ghosts? And what were those?
Absolutely. Would believe me, when I was in California working on Ghost Whisperer, the problems you have in a house are not 100% ghosts. Sometimes life happens. But if you are a billionaire, millionaire, billionaire type person, you just have a whole different attitude, let me tell you. And so do the ghosts. Because a lot of the ghosts that are in these mansions used to live in those mansions. Mm-hmm. And they still have attitude. And they are something. Interesting thing though about those ghosts that are in mansions is that they sure do like to gossip. And I heard stuff about actresses and actors in the 30s and the 40s that I still had no clue who they even were, but they were chatting away about them. And did you know she did this, this, and this? It's like, wow. And that one killed somebody and buried him over here. Did you know that? And it's like, wow, no, I didn't. And so, yeah, but they're talkative, and quite a few of those I had to sort of get creative to make them to go into the white light.
See, there's ways around it. So, yeah. Everybody's like going back,
to what?
To my house. And Sister Maureen's like, the seats didn't help with the house.
Well, they did, but you ended up with everything that's available through your house.
Yeah. I mean, so like by the end of it, I had how many St. Joseph's in the yard? The seat. I mean, the seats.
Losing them.
Well, it didn't help that before you came out and got rid of, the guy, like he was moving things around. And,
yeah, because St. Joseph does not, I mean, a ghost can carry around a St. Joseph statue or metal. It's not going to hurt them. It doesn't have any effect on them.
Right. So there was so much going on with that house, and then just the land like itself. And
is there some way for you to pull up a plat mat on your, or a plat map on your property and see what the longitude and latitude is? That would be a place to start.
Yeah, that could be a side project. Just to,
yeah. Oh yeah, because you don't have anything else to do.
I mean, who needs sleep? Who needs sleep? I had other people say, because of like how it was on like this one corner, but there was this weird like Y intersection leading up to it. And there's so many things. But I really, really think just because I was probably the only really spiritual person, not religious, spiritual person in that little town, that I took pride in the land. I took pride in the yard, the house, and, gave it attention, that it was almost like, you can't leave because who else is going to do it?
Yeah. And the energy in the house was good. So it's going to draw everything to you.
And again, like I went through like 3 or 4 realtors and so many open houses, and everybody that would come out loved the house, loved the house. They were going to go to, and then it was like they would disappear. It was literally like the house was like, and we're
Chopped them
done.
off.
And I'm
Right.
like, what the hell?
Right.
What
Right.
the
Right.
hell?
Right.
And one of the realtors was into the woo woo, and she was coming in and, saging beforehand and doing the things. And she's like, let's get another St. Joseph. Well, we ended up with like one on all 4 corners and in the house facing the door. And I'm like, look, St. Joseph is like, screw this house. Like, I'm
Well,
not doing
it
it.
was, yeah, no, like I said, and you ended up bringing stuff home with you. So it's not like it was just the house. I mean, you brought a guest home from where, Arizona or Tucson or somewhere?
Well, the last
The one
time I
before
was
the
in
last one.
Arizona, in that house was when the aliens,
And that was from, and where did that follow you from?
the aliens from Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Only worst thing would have been Wyoming. So here you go.
right, Julie. Yeah. So that house, and quite literally the person who's in it, my friend, she's another one who takes care of. So it literally, like, I had to find another person that the house, the land was going to be set
See,
aside
yeah,
with.
now here's an example of let's use your house. If there were a couple ghosts in your house and somebody and the house was for sale, and you walk in with your husband and you're looking at the house, and the house is built in the 40s or the 50s, and you're saying to your husband, this would be really good if we can take this wall down. It would make it more of an open, floor plan. And here's these ghosts standing around going, oh, not in my house, you're not.
Mhm.
And so here's your little thing that could stop houses from being sold. And
Mhm.
that is one of the reasons why I do work with real estate agents so much. So,
Yeah, let's keep
yeah,
marrying that.
please. I mean, to work, fine. To go to live, uh-uh.
Right. Um, have you ever been contacted by a victim of a crime for help besides your friend who was the detective?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And unfortunately, it's not that some of them, a couple of them have found me, have gone out of their way to find me, but a lot of the ones that I find, um, especially if they're younger girls or women, a lot of them were murdered. And so they, if I end up someplace and they know I can see them, they will tell me. They don't always know who killed them, but I can contact the right city police department and let them know. So
Um, Stephen asks, do ghosts sit in chairs during the day and lay in beds at night?
they can, but you don't sit on them. They don't sit on you. They don't go through you in bed. Can they lay on top of you in bed? Oh yeah. But they don't go through you. So yeah, no, they can lay in bed next to you, and heck, they can spoon with you if they want to.
Ew.
Oh yeah, that's not uncommon.
Oh, I know, but I forgot about that till now. Thanks for the memory. Oh, thanks, Patrick. Ley lines, intersections of natural electromagnetic earth energy, also known as ley lines, can crisscross around the globe, which are said to create different types of energy vortices.
Thanks, Patrick. That's what I mean. I just don't know enough about that. There's more people like you that have knowledge on that.
Joe asks question about this morning's podcast. Has an earthbound gone into the light and then come back? And thank you.
Of course, they come back all the time to visit, and they cause absolutely no problems, and the seeds don't stop them. The seeds only stop earthbound spirits. So absolutely. Your relatives don't miss a no baby or a baptism, a wedding, a soccer game. They're there for all of that stuff. So yeah, no, they come back and forth. They absolutely watch what's going on. When you take pictures and you get orbs in pictures, and if the orb has a design in it, it's crossed over and is visiting. And if you took that picture on a digital camera enlarge it, and sometimes you can see a side profile or a face of who it is.
I don't think we've ever had this question. Has anyone ever from our Wednesday morning chats passed away and then come visit you?
No, not that I know of.
I only know of one person who has passed, and I'm pretty sure because of watching and doing this, they went kind of into the light pretty quick.
And I know who you're thinking of. Her first name starts with L.
I was thinking of a he. So
oh, no, I was thinking of a L.
So, yeah. Huh. Interesting. How would you get a seat up on larger doors? You might need to do two, right? Top and mid, and
Yeah, it depends.
so people like me don't like duck and crawl under.
Right. Like doors, when I have to go do a house and there's a ghost in there, I can pretty much see what the house looks like. And if I'm looking around, I'll say, gee, make sure you have a ladder there because we're not going to be able to reach the top of that door if we don't. Or if it's a business, think of the big doors that the 18-wheelers unload at. Those are a real pain to get a seat up, let me tell you. So, but they usually, those places usually have those like really huge rollaway ladders that, and I don't let Ted do that anymore. Somebody has to be there to climb up that ladder and do that. But this, I stopped doing that 35 years ago. So
feel free to ask questions on TikTok and Instagram. I can't put your question on the screen, but I'll read it out loud. We're also doing this like Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. So if you want to see your question on screen, hop on to one of those for me. Let's see. We've got a few more questions, but I do have the pictures of the House of Wills ready to go. If you guys want to see those today, they are loaded up. And thank you, everybody, Melanie and Julie and Brooke, everybody helping remind to follow, like, and share. Let's see. Diane asks, if it's true that some people have ignored or turned off their mediumship abilities, what can they do to turn it back on? What exercises, things can you do to develop those abilities?
And I think you exactly right. Start reading again and start meditating. A lot of people can get their answers when they meditate. Get in your quiet space and listen. See who wants to start working with you again, if it's a guide or an angel or whatever. But I think that's the way, to do it. And try to start doing this again when your life is in a calm space. I mean, if you have a very hectic life and busy and working 2 jobs and, ferrying around 3 kids, wait until the house is calmer.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of think of like your psychic and mediumship abilities. They're almost like muscles, right? So you've got to work them to get them stronger. And if you've been ignored them, then they atrophy and they're tiny and weak, and you have to get into the habit of trying and exercising them and doing it. So
and that's why meditation helps, because it puts you in a quiet space so you can work on what you need to develop.
Mm-hmm. And if you're local here to the Cleveland area, we have a development circle that's the first and third Tuesdays of the month. It's only $5 to come. And Jim, who leads it, works on helping strengthen different psychic and mediumship abilities. And it's different each time, so it's not boring and monotonous, and everybody ability works slightly different. So that's why he's always trying to change it to help you figure out which way works best for you and what is your strongest ability. Let's see. Jules says, do you believe that dying people that are visioning are part here and part on the other side? If so, is that other side where earthbounds are, or is it in the light?
No, what they're seeing is they're seeing people in the light. And until they actually are dead, they can absolutely talk to those people. It's once they actually stop breathing and they die that communication stops between the earthbound and the ones in the light. You can see them, and they're motioning you, come on, that kind of thing. But they're not going to talk to you again until you go into the light. So, and I've seen a couple of times where an earthbound has walked right up to the tunnel, right up to the light, and then darted off. Actually, that creep that's in that ugly ghost that's in When Ghosts Speak, that one did that to me. Got to the light and just veered off and just wasn't going in. So they can do that, but I don't believe that they can. Some people that have near death experiences seem to go in the light fairly far until they find out it's not their time, and then they get, literally pulled right back into their body.
Mm. Do the Saint Joseph or Saint Benedict medals, those do they have to be on you, or can they be in your purse or wallet?
No. The St. Joseph medals that I actually do have one in my wallet, but I have one in each of my suitcases. So no, they do not. The only thing that actually has to be on you for the protection is the quinseed. If it's in your purse and it's right next to you, it's okay. But people say, well, I take my purse to work and my purse is right there. It's in my desk the whole time, right by me, which is fine. Do you take your purse with you when you go to the bathroom? Do you take your purse when you go with you to the kitchen to get a cup of coffee? Do you have your purse on you when you go into the conference room with your other, workers and have a meeting? No. So what good is it doing in your desk? No good.
Right. Zach, well, thanks for stopping in before work, Zach. And Brooke, like you, creepy spooning with the ghost, yuck.
Yeah. But it happens. That lady thought for sure that was her husband. And she was like, woo woo, he's back in bed. And woo woo, she turned around and there was nobody there.
Sister Maureen says, I read your book, As Alive, So Dead. Between the axe coming at you and the rat house basement, what made you to continue doing what you do? And there's a good follow-up question because somebody else, Karen over on Twitch, was like, have you ever decided to tell those earthbounds to chill out and give you a break?
Yeah, but why would they listen? I'm no threat to them. The only good thing is I'm alive and they're dead. So, there's the issue. Yes, I've had days where I've been caught in snowstorms 45 miles away from home and flood. I couldn't get back home one time. And there are days, but it's like, I don't know. I got this thing in the back of my head. If I'm not supposed to do this, then I would guess that I would start losing my ability to do it. And that would be the time to stop. Until then, I like to think that I'm still helping.
I think you are.
Yeah.
Lucas says, apologies for my random questions, but have we discussed the ideas of immortality? I don't know what's with my random questions, but I have a bunch, so be prepared.
I don't know anybody. I mean, I have to laugh. Immortality is wonderful for earthbound spirits because they can stay earthbound forever if that's what they want to do. But as far as humans, I mean, I just saw on TV that there was a lady 107 years old, and she attributes it to cigarettes every day, a glass of whiskey every day, and never being married. She may have something there. You never know.
Sounds like she's got her priorities in order.
You just never know.
Can't wait to be that old and sassy. I kind of can wait, but at the same time.
Yeah.
To be that age without the body falling apart would be great.
See, and there's the problem. They don't go at the same time. There's the problem.
Let's see. Oh, so Nothing But Greatness. It's like I didn't get to hear what was to keep on you for protection. And Marianne, you were saying your quinseeds.
Right. That's the only thing that I know that works 100% is the quinseed. Other stuff helps, but it doesn't protect 100%.
Mhm. It's I always joke, any stone can, if you can throw pretty hard and have a good aim, any stone can help with protection. And then there are others that help do, some, but uh, when a spirit is touching you or is real close to you, do you get goosebumps? And maybe that might depend on the person.
Yeah, each person is different, but you're picking up on the energy from the earthbound spirit. And so that's going to affect everybody different. You might just get all of a sudden a chill, or all of a sudden the hair on the back of your neck goes up, or the hair on your arms go up, and then it just disappears. And you think, geez, what was that? And so, yeah, you can, and that's how some people know that there's a ghost around them all the time, because they can feel the energy from the ghost.
Mhm.
That's why with the quincy, they have to stay 3.5, 4 feet away from you, and you don't get those chills and here you're raising things going on.
Christine, she's one of our local. She's like, yes, come in the development circle. Um, and we have people that come of all ability levels, even those that do readings, will still come just to keep the exercise and to meet people and support other people that are coming in that need help.
And you it's amazing what you can learn from other people.
Hmm.
I mean, it's, you believe me, nobody knows everything. And you know and a good example is with these ley lines today. Some people have knowledge on that and some people do not.
Hmm. Everybody says you're a superhero and you're a great help.
Jeez.
Oh.
And that's why I figured if it's my time to stop, somebody bigger than me is going to bop me on the head and say, "Quit, you're done."
Knock it off. Go lay
Right? No
down. Go
more.
take a nap.
Right? Just sit all day and do nothing.
Brooke says I'm already sassy AF, which
Yeah,
equals and fun. Uh-huh.
good, good.
Westies asks, can you accidentally curse someone? Is there a preventative measure to avoid being cursed?
No, to curse somebody, you really have to do it with intention. I mean, just seeing somebody walk down the street and you go, "Oh, I hope you break your neck," that isn't going to do it. But if you do it with enough intention on a regular basis, you're going to make somebody have a bad day.
And Vicky says, I no longer fear dying thanks to everything that she's learned from you for that.
And there you are. That's it right now. People, and I think most people, if they're religious, any religion, if they're religious, they have some kind of a thought of afterlife. Unless you're an agnostic or an atheist, you're just not going to be a pile of dust. And sometimes by going into houses and being able to tell people something that their mother has a message for them, and she died 14 years ago, it does help. And I think that's probably why it just keep on doing it.
Um, are voodoo dolls safe to have in your home? I have one from New Orleans and was wondering about it.
Voodoo dolls are always shown in movies as being the bad thing with the pins on it. But voodoo dolls are also for good stuff.
Mhm.
So just having one in the house is not going to be a problem. Now, you cut off a picture of your mother in law and put it on the little doll's head, and you take a needle or a pin and you stick it through the picture's forehead. What are you doing there, folks? No, no, no. But no, no. And again, just remember karma. It's going to come back and get you.
That's right. I mean, we actually have, and I just put it up yesterday, a poppet. Sometimes they're called poppets, a poppet class workshop coming up. And it is geared to you're making a poppet of yourself for like healing or meditation or, so they're not always evil. Of course, you have better ratings on your movie if
If they're
everybody's,
bad or
yeah,
scary or
yeah,
it's done at night.
right.
And that's why so many, oh, I should probably That's okay. Let's let that one go.
Careful.
It's 1:45. Let's not cause any problems at 15 minutes to go. Let's show some pictures.
Um, so that if you're local, you can come to that. That one's a little hard to do online. And I see people asking about the development circle. It's at the store at Goddess Elite. We have taken away the online version right now because we are looking at setting up an online only because it was the in-person size was I think like the smallest that we've had due to weather or something in the years that we've been doing this was like maybe 7 or 8. We've had like up to 30 people show up. So when you have that many people and you're trying to watch a screen and keep the Zoom people involved as well. So Jim and I have been talking about doing a separate Zoom only or having another facilitator do the online only just because it was just getting too hard to make those that were online get the same amount out of it.
Yeah, it's too confusing when there's that many people. And everybody, let's face it, everybody has a question.
Right. And when you're
And
and a lot of the exercises are interactive and you got to pair them up and you've
yeah,
got, so we are working on putting that online as well. So we'll let you know when it comes through. But if you are local, we can just pop in on the 1st and 3rd. It's like 7 to 8:30, so it's an hour and a half, and it's $5, to join in. So it's fun. Barbara says, I just finished reading As Alive, So Dead. It's an awesome read. Have also read When Ghosts Speak. Other than the cookbook, do you have any other new books in the works?
no, but there are still some other books out. There's 2 fiction books that are out there too that are already done. I have not. I keep checking with my editors at the different houses that have my books, and nobody's interested right now in anything that I have, which is sad because I just got an invitation from the Buckeye Book Fair that they hold out in Worcester every year. She said, with a little note, please tell me you have a new book so you can come down here this November. It's like, no, I don't. I can't. So I would like to, but nobody's buying anything right now unless you're Stephen King or doing another Harry Potter or whatever.
We just, again, in my downtime, looking into the self-publish, I'm telling you, we're going to have to go figure out the self-publish.
I've got 3 follow-ups almost done to the fiction series with the same person through each one, her son, each one growing up in each book. But like I said, the editor that took care of those books absolutely loved them. I was halfway through the second one. She says, start working on more. We're going to keep on going with these. I said, terrific. And then she got her job transferred and she was gone. And the new editor calls me up one day. She says, I really don't like these books at all. She says, I don't think they hit the audience. So she says, we're just going to put them on the shelf for now. And how many years ago was that?
Where did that other editor go?
To another position. I don't know why publishing houses do that. And maybe somebody that's a publisher, of course, it wouldn't be a local publisher because it's a small workforce local. But big publishing companies out of New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, they have hundreds of people working for them. And I think they almost don't want the editors to get too close to whoever they're working with as far as the writers go. I don't know if they're afraid of giving extra stuff to people that they shouldn't or not treating people equally, but they move them. And when they move them, I mean, she got moved to children's books, and obviously my books are not for children. So, nope. Nope. It's funny though. She got hold of me after she was gone about 2 years. She said, do you have the next one done? And I said, well, it's not edited or anything. She says, well, can you send it to me? I'd like to read it. I said, no. I says, when you get your other job back, call me. No.
Yeah. So like Jackie, she's like, what about Hay House? So I was then
Oh,
like,
no, never. I will never, never. They've contacted me. I will never work with Hay House. Oh,
um,
no, 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 no.
I think we might be better either with Author House or Amazon. They both have self-publishing.
And I've got 2 or 3 books online that were self-published, and they're out there, but yeah, it's the ones. I mean, you have to have a computer to read it or something to read it on. So, and you know what? I like a book that I can hold, and because I don't use computers, what good is that for me?
Did you have you been anything with Llewellyn?
No, I do not. None of my books are with Llewellyn.
Yeah. So yeah, Kath's like self-publish, and that's where sitting there going through the research of who's the better self-publisher.
And I've got As Alive So Dead and the Funeral Guide. Those were self-published, and they did fine for me. As a matter of fact, it was a joke when I got called in to do When Ghosts Speak. I was sitting at this huge table with like 12 a person that's in publications, a person that's in advertising, a person. I mean, all these people had a job, and so I'm sitting there. She said she would like the book to do this, 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 and this, and I said, okay, I think I can do that. And then just out of clear, I says, by the way, I said, can I keep selling my self-published books? And the one looked at me. She goes, yeah. She goes, sure. She says, where do you sell them at? I says, oh, if I do, talk at a library or I've had a few books, sales. I just take them in and the store buys them from me. And I said, she said, so you basically sell them out of the trunk of your car. I said, yeah, that would, that's, I guess so.
You want to put it like that.
I'm thinking, you're so snobby just because you have an office. And so then this other one on this other side is listening to the whole thing, and she sort of looks at me. She goes, how many of those do you sell in a month? I said, oh, geez. I says, I don't know. I says, I guess I would have to think about it. She says, well, let me ask you this. You order them? And I says, I do. She says, how many do you order at a time? I said, 500. She said, 500. I said, well, yeah, it's cheaper to buy more than less. And she said, oh, she says, okay. She says, and how many times do you have to order 500 in a year? And I'm thinking, here we go. And I said, probably not more than twice. And 2 people at the same time said, no, you cannot sell your books out of your trunk anymore. And this book wasn't going to come out for a year. And I said, oh, no. I just ordered 500. I'm not using these as coffee tables and boxes. I said, no, they're going to be sold. And they said, you can sell up till 2 months before this book comes out. And after years, I just thought, baloney on you. And I did start selling them again. But it's control. They have control. Well, you buy books. There's control over all of that.
Yeah. Because depending on how much of the intellectual property they own over it and what your contract says, it's the book world is a lot different on the backside versus on the outside looking in.
Here's a good example. Somebody contacted me to do the 3rd book of the fiction series. And I said, okay. And she says, but you better pull your contract out with that publishing company. And I said, okay. I cannot sell those books to anybody. Either they take them or they never get done. And I signed that paper. And I don't know what it would cost me to try to get out of that.
There's not a time limit where if they don't do it, you're. So what you're saying is you just change the name of the character and the title and move on with the new series name. That's what I just heard.
Yeah, I don't know. You know how hard it would be to change everything where they wouldn't recognize it being the third book in the series? Or you're
Prove it.
saying start all over again? Ugh.
Take that third book and add a different little intro, change that character.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about it someday. I don't know.
Brooke, are you up for editing?
No.
Brooke has her own editing that needs to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Geezer Gamer says, "Hello, ladies. Do you have any advice on using the St. Joseph statue property for selling it?" Not me. I don't. Marianne,
Yes.
take it.
Yeah, I actually do. The statue has to be buried upside down, facing the front of the street in the front of the house. So when you bury it, put a rock or something on the top of it so you know where it's at, because they do have a tendency to float a little bit. And because I felt bad putting a statue of St. Joseph in the ground, I actually put him in a pickle jar so that he didn't get muddy and dirty. And it definitely worked. So, and then when you dig it up, you wait until the final papers are signed, and then you dig them up and you wash them off and put them on a windowsill or something. Don't throw them in a junk drawer or give them to somebody else. But the trick with the St. Joseph kit is this: there's a holy card that comes with it. And that prayer on the back of that holy card has to be said 9 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't say that or you miss a day, you start over. And I found the easiest place to tape that holy card is to your bathroom mirror. So that in the morning when you're brushing your teeth, you can say the prayer and you don't forget it. But that's how it works. And it as far as it works. People say he has to lay on his back and overlook his feet. But every time he's been buried totally upside down, facing the front, it has worked. So
There's a few people that are joining Twitch so they can be a part of the podcast, and they're having trouble. There it is. Here you go. So everybody that's looking for us on Twitch, that address right there will take you to us. Or if you just put in Goddess Elite LLC, you'll find it. Now to scroll back down, I think it's Instagram's getting to see a partial side shot of all the stuff that I scroll through.
Are we going to show the pictures? We're almost done.
Yeah, let's get the pictures up. Somebody's wanting to know the significance of the 9 days in a row for St. Joseph.
Seriously, it's everything. It seems your first Fridays in the Catholic religion are 9 Fridays in a row. Everything, it seems, is it's a novena. Everything is like 9 days in a row. I think that's just the rule. They said that it has to be done.
I know Sandy and Al Poodle Pants are like maybe a kid's book about ghosts, so they won't be afraid.
Yeah, that would be a whole lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put up Chris's. She sent me 4, but I've got 3 loaded of some shots from inside the House of Wills. So here is the first one. And I'm trying to think where in the house that one is. Like I remember seeing it, but I don't quite remember where in the house. But did she happen to catch anything in this picture?
Well, there looks like there's something on that back wall. You can almost see 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth.
Brooke would be sipping a lot of tea doing that editing. You're right.
Yeah. That almost looks like it's a place to put a casket once the body is prepared. But that almost, like I said, that almost looks like Actually, if you keep looking at it, you can almost see three faces there. I don't know. You can see one looking toward the right with an O mouth, the one in the middle, two eyes, a nose, and the mouth. And then there's a faint one on the left side that's just looking straight ahead.
Yeah, Melanie says, I see a face wearing earrings.
I don't see earrings. See, it's how you perceive things. You look at things and everybody sees things differently, but that's what I see. Now, I would have a ton of questions. Was that taken with a flash? Was that taken without a flash? Where else? There were obviously lights someplace else that are on, because you can see there it's bright halfway. It looks like a screen and so there's a light coming from somewhere. And actually, you could probably even say there's a couple faces in the light place where it's light. So that's it. I would say that would be a picture that I would like to send to Quantico with the negative. I would like to see what they have to say about it.
And she says there was no flash.
Well, that's good. Okay, I'm glad that there's no flash, because that makes it more authentic if there's no flash. So, but that's what I see. But I think, like I said, that would be if I had gotten that picture in the mail, that would have been a picture that I would definitely have sent to Quantico. I would have thought looks good enough to me to send.
She said this was the side room on the ground level, so believe it was the viewing room.
Like I says, that looks to me like that would be right where a casket would lay, right on that carpet. It would stand up there. And I have been in that funeral home when they were actively having bodies being shown there. And that is the only funeral home that I have ever been in. Nope, there was one in Arizona, but that's beside the point. That where they put him in that little enclave they made, that's one of the only funeral homes that I've ever seen that done in. And I wondered when I saw it the first time, don't they want people to go behind the casket? Don't they want people to go on the front or the back of the casket? Why do they have that thing in that little cubby hole? And I don't know why.
Patrick's like, what exactly is everybody looking at? And it's that area on the wall.
It looks like a television screen.
Yeah. And Renee is like, could it be pareidolia, where the brain's trying to see faces? But that's why you would want to send it in. But
that's right, because you don't know, because everybody's got an imagination, whether they think they do or not. And if you stare at something long enough, it's like people that have knotty pine on their walls. Well, it's not so popular now, but in the 50s and the 60s, it was a big deal. And you didn't even have to have a cocktail in your hand to look at the wall and say, boy, there's an owl looking at me right there, because of the knotty hole pine. This is the same basic thing. You can look at that and try to figure out what you're seeing. Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things when we drive so much, is that when it's cloudy out, I always look up to see if I can make an animal or something out of one of the clouds.
So here's her second picture. It's actually cleaner than when I was in there. There's a lot of stuff in the house when I was in that first time.
Oh my God. I see couches like that covered in plastic. And I remember my grandmother's house. It was so miserable sitting on those things, especially in the summer. You'd get up and felt like your skin got pulled off the back of your legs.
Right.
I do not see anything in this picture at all.
Okay.
This picture looks totally. I really don't. And that dark shadow on the floor, I'm thinking that is the shadow of a live person. That would be one that I wouldn't even bother to send into Quantico, because I don't think that is very authentic.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything there.
Says this one was upstairs in Mr. Willis's room, so like the bedroom, the family quarters.
Okay.
Um, hello, Wendy, and anybody else new joining us. We're going over some House of Will pictures that one of our friends sent in. Her third picture, this was the like the casket showing room, the cloud room back in the day. And so this picture, when I pull up mine, we were actually in this room. Mine will be next. That looks prettier than what you're going to see how it looked when I was there.
I don't really see anything here either. It's a picture on the wall in the back with those two guys looking at. No, I don't see anything on the. And see, there's a good example. See that girl? You can see her shadow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what reminded me in the second picture that there was a shadow of a live person on the floor. That's why I wouldn't send that one in. I don't see anything in this one either. There's nothing in that cloud thing. I don't see anything in there at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe other people do, but I do not.
So, this, Chris, I think you were there not too long ago. So after I went, and you'll see, like this almost looks cleaned up and painted. And like when we were there, there was no electricity, no heat, no nothing. So my picture is this exact room. It's not going to look nowhere near as nice. Yeah, she's like, this is the basement where they did the Masonic rituals. On the other side of the wall is where they stored the caskets. So at one point, the funeral, because it was a Masonic temple, then it was the funeral home. They used this as their showroom, and it was called the cloud room because it was all cloudy, blue sky cloudy up on the ceiling. So before I put mine up, that same room, and we were there as part of a birthday investigation for a person in the picture. The only people who are not shown in the picture, so everybody was accounted for, was myself, and I took the picture, and my husband at the time. So here is the picture, and you can see the difference of them working on it. So, and I'm using my cursor like you guys can see what I'm pointing at. So from the left-hand side, you've got the lady in blue. You've got the gentleman with the red jersey. The birthday guy is the guy in black next to the red jersey. You see the woman with the flowered shirt. And I wish I could zoom this in.
Behind her with the eyeballs.
There is a mimic of the birthday guy's face right on the other side of her.
No, it's not. That's a totally different one.
But
the birthday boy doesn't have glasses on.
No, but when you can look at the face, it's got like his beard, so it was trying to mimic, but but that's not any of our live people at all.
No, that's an extra.
So, and I didn't notice it until a couple of days later when I was just kind of going through and looking. The gentleman, the birthday gentleman, that is Glenn White. He's originally from New York. And he would do like physical mediumship, and like he trained under Buckland and a few other people. And I was originally sitting in that chair with the white cushion, and he was sitting in the chair closest to us that has the back. And I at one point got up away from the table because you could kind of hear things going on in the perimeter, but nothing on the table. And I'm like, well, I'm sitting here and I've got a seat on, so let me get away from the table. And it was more of the impression like they were hanging out at that back end hallway, kind of where that thing is, just kind of watching. And the impression was they were not a horse and pony show, and they were not going to come perform whatsoever.
Oh, no. And that they hate that. You know, if I'm in somebody's house and I'll go, yeah, well, he's standing right there. Well, make him do something. They're not trained monkeys. They hate when you ask them to do something like that. But I think it's interesting that you were still too close with your seat on for him to come any closer than that.
So yeah, there's a couple of people who are asking. So the woman in the middle with the flower shirt, if you look over her her shoulder to the right, you'll
The
see,
left shoulder, right.
the face. And other than it looked like it was trying to have glasses, and there's like a reflection in what would be the glasses that Glenn is not wearing, but the rest of the face
Is the
almost looks
same.
like a copy of Glenn.
Right.
But the only two people not in that photo are me and the ex-husband. Everybody else is accounted for in that picture. So that is an extra being.
Now I'm curious, and I would want to know, why does the ghost face and the person sitting in the white t-shirt and the person standing in the corner with the other red shirt, why are their eyes glowing like the ghost man's head glowing?
Mhm. Let's see.
Yeah. Now, see, that would be the only thing that I would say something is off on that, because
Mhm.
either their eyes should have been glowing and not his, or his eyes only and not theirs. So I don't know what that's about. But I think I would have probably sent that one in to see what was going on.
Well, unfortunately, I was taking these with my phone. So there's no film.
Yeah. And that's the
Right.
problem
Mhm.
with anymore. There is no negative. Now, the interesting thing is, if you were somebody that I, just didn't really know, and I said to you, geez, if I had a negative of that, send me your negative and I'll send it to Quantico. 10 days later, I would get a negative in the mail, and I'd
Mhm.
look at it, and there's a little note, yes, you can send this to Quantico with your permission. And I send it, and then the man that takes care of, the agent that looks at these for me, calls me up and goes, are you funny? It's like, what are you talking about? He said, that picture was taken with a digital camera. I said, no, I have the negative. And he said, yeah, if you take that picture into any drugstore, they will make you a negative.
Oh, really? I didn't realize they would do that.
Yes, they do. And that's why I hardly send very many pictures anymore.
See, and now there's people wondering if they're wearing glasses. I do believe the girl in white was, and I can't open that picture right now. You know what? Hang on. You guys won't see it. Because my phone is doing one of the other cameras. You know what? Maybe between now and next week, like I will try and blow up like just that top corner section.
Yeah,
Okay.
do that, because I would be curious, because it's only those three that have their glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to know why.
But
See, and this is exactly my problem. I can't take this at face value. I need to know more than that. And that's why I send them off.
mm-hmm. um, there was not flash. Amy is asking if I was using flash. I was using night mode because I didn't want it to be disturbing to everybody, as you're taking pictures, because we're all sitting and we were in pitch black. There was no electric or heat. It was cool that night in the building when we were there. Um, so we're all sitting around, and there were like a couple of like LED candles and stuff around, but everybody was using flashlights or the flashlight on your phone, the camera light on your phone to get around. So this was during a break. After we were all sitting there trying, to get stuff to happen there at the table. And that's when I was like, you know what, I need to get up and move because I've got to see it on. And even after that, Marianne, you would probably yell at me. I took my whole necklace off, went and put it in the glove compartment of the car and came back just to see if it would change what was going on with it. But and then like after our second round of doing this is when everybody was going around with the spirit boxes. And this is the instance of sitting there where, all this box did was just spew out vulgar, language. And I'm like, either that's not a very intelligent, can't carry a full conversation, or this box isn't worth, anything. Nothing good is coming out of this. So I spent more time kind of like just walking around on my own at times because I'm not impressed with the spirit box. But yeah, but there was no flash when that picture was taken. It was just the night mode of the camera. And from my understanding with other people that were there, nobody else really caught much of anything. The picture that was right after that, there was nothing there. The face wasn't there anymore.
That's the only one I see in the whole picture. So,
but yeah, and I almost deleted that picture. I was going through and I'm like, nothing, no. Wait, and zooming in and sent it to like Glenn. And I'm like, hey, did you know you had a twin? And he's like, that is really cool. And he's like, I think that was about the only thing that came out of that whole evening.
That's what I say. People can go back through old family albums. You'd be amazed what you can catch in some of those pictures. Because a lot of times you can actually catch earthbounds better on film camera than you can digital. And so, but it's amazing, and it was a bad camera. The film was bad. The film was old, but not all the time. Some of the old pictures are pretty cool.
So, but that's my house, Will. So other than that, and then the few pictures that were caught at the merry-go-round, I don't think I have anything else that I've ever managed to catch anything on. Now, other people are asking if they have videos or pictures. You can either email them in.
To you.
Yeah.
Get that straight, to you.
Yes, because Marianne does not do well with electronics. Don't do well with Marianne. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, right.
They don't survive very long. So you can send over pictures or videos. If I can get them in the proper formats that we can use here, we'll throw them up online and let Marianne take a look. If you are local to the area or feel like taking a road trip, Marianne will be at Goddess Elite on April 15th, and you can bring pictures in. If they're only on your phone, don't let her touch your phone. Just show her the phone.
Well, I'll have my gloves.
And we'll take a look. We'll take a look at it, see what everybody can find. Yeah, she doesn't play well with the electronics.
No, I play fine with them. They don't play with me.
But yeah, so if you feel like you might have a ghost in your house and you want to have that confirmed, or if you think you might have negative energy, Marianne offers a couple of Zooms a month. This is how you would join. It is limited to 20 people. We ask everybody to ask your 2 questions, and please make sure they are relevant to the current time period. What happened when you were 4 is not going to matter what's going on now. You do need to be in the location that your question is about. Don't be at your sister's house if your question is about your house. We do this at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love friends from all over the world to join us if you can, but please make sure you adjust your time accordingly to start when we start. Everybody will get to ask questions. So sometimes I get bombarded in the chat. Can I go? Can I ask? Everybody will get to ask questions. We try to do the new people first. There's been a couple times where people come on with a different email and it looks like it's new. And then I see the face. I'm like, you're not new.
Yeah.
But okay. But everybody gets a turn. And we ask that you be mindful of other people's time who also pay to be there. So this is not a one-on-one therapy session. That's a half hour for each person. We want to be fair to everybody who is there. No one under the age of 18 at all. Don't try. We had to kick people out last time.
Yeah. And once didn't do it. Had to be twice.
Right. So please keep that in mind. Did I cover all the rules and regular? I feel like each time they get a little longer because something happens.
Yeah. No, I think we got it. But even with this, there were 2 people on the last one one was at work and one was sitting in her car.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a good thing the one that was sitting in her car had negative energy on her, and I had no idea what was going on in the house because she wasn't in the house. So, I know you're paying $20 and it's not going to kill you, but at least get an answer. If you're going to pay the $20, be where you need to be. So
yeah, you want to make sure your questions are answered. So be where you need to be for it. What else? So yeah, you'll be at the store on April 15th. Mary, you got anything else?
we're good. I think we're good. I think we got it all covered.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Amy. Yes. When you are registering, please make sure before you hit submit, check the spelling of your email. If you mistype your email, our system is going to automatically try to send you your confirmation with your Zoom link, and it's going to bounce. I don't know what everybody's email should be, so I can't go in there and fix it for you. So please double check your email. And that being said, don't delete your email because it has your Zoom link in it. So, yeah, the system will automatically bring up the dates that have the available times for you to join. Please don't email and call us the day of wanting to know why you can't get in tonight and that the system is broken. It's not broken. It works really well. It's going to bring up the time that has available spaces for you. So right now there were 5 spaces left for April 24th, which is a Monday. The next one after that is May 12th, which is a Friday. So don't wait too long. Don't wait to the last minute and then be upset that you can't get in.
No, these have been filling about a month ahead of time now.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Nope, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
All right.
And we'll do it again next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday at 10 a.m. If you are friends of ours on Twitch, give us about, Marianne will end this stream and I'll start a new one for Twitch here in about 10 minutes, coffee refill, potty break, and
we'll do a podcast.
That's right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.